today we'll be making the pink frog onesie, the cat that wears the pink frog onesie and from Fairy Tale. Frosch, green cat within the green frog onesie. So we're going to be needing mccalls pattern 7518. So this is what we'll be making. You'll have to get the adult one if you're adult, and if you're a kid, you'll have to be getting the kid one. And if you really want to, you can make one for your dog, because there is a dog one in here. Alright, so you'll need to be taking your measurements to find out what size you are. So, I don't know if you could see that too well. I'll try to take a photo. So I'm going with extra large, because that's where most of my measurements are. So if you're that size, you'll just need to take a measurement of your bust. Let's see what else. Your chest and your hip and your back waist length. So if you are in the extra large one, we are doing jumpsuit A. So if you are extra large for jumper A, you're going to need about 3 1/4 yards of fabric. The contrast for that, you're going to need to be getting ribbed knit. And if you are in size extra large, you will be needing 5/8, and if you have a 60 width fabric, it's 3/8. So the materials you'll need are it suggests you use either sweatshirt fleece, voilier, and then like I said for contrast A, which is the little arm thingies right here. You'll be needing that ribbed knit. My store only had white, and they had a pink, but it didn't match, so I had to get the white. For your notions, you're going to need one zipper. For the kids, if you're making this for a kid, you'll need a 10-inch zipper. And if you're making this for an adult, you'll need a 22-inch zipper. You're going to need, and for the dog, you're going to need one separating zipper. That's only for the dog's coat. So we only need the thread and 22-inch zipper. Alright, so if you're those sizes, that's what you'll need. Oh, and your material is going to need to stretch about there from here to over here. So I got this pink fleece. You also need some material, black material for the spots and for the eyes, and extra for the tail. Okay, so we're just going to begin right now making the bodysuit, and then later on we'll do the tail and the eyes, and the black spots later. Alright, so let's begin. Oh, so you're going to need to cut out your material. It shows you how to lay it out on your pattern. Alright, so let's begin. This is how you're going to lay it out. So if you're the sizes between the children's sizes, this is how you'll set it out. If you're the size small to medium, this is how you'll set jumpsuit A out. And if you're in the large, extra large, like my size, so this is what you'll have to do. So you'll have to take pattern piece 2 and put it along the fold. You'll have to take pattern piece 4 and put it near the selvage. Pattern piece 1 underneath that. Oh, and when you're also cutting out your material, you're also supposed to attach 2A to 2 and 3A to 3 on your pattern, and then you'll place that near here, and then you'll open up your fabric and you'll place your sleeves out on your material. And then for the contrast, you'll set it up. If you have a 35, you'll set it up like this, and if you have a 60-inch fabric, you'll set it up like this. And just follow the directions on the pattern, and also look at this. And then you'll just cut out your material, and then we'll go to the next step. We are going to make a narrow hem, which is you're going to turn in the hem, press using fullness as necessary, then turn out the hem, and then raw edge, and increase, and then long. So you're going to make a 5/8 seam on here. If you could press your material, then you just press the 5/8. But if you can't press it, you're gonna have to do it like the way I'm gonna do it. So I made my line. So you're gonna take this edge and you're gonna match it up with the sew line like this, and then you're gonna fold it over again, and then you're gonna pin this. I don't know if you saw it or not. So that's, you make that line, you bring it up to the fold line, and then you roll it up so that the fold line you just made is lined up here. So what you're gonna do now is you're gonna pin across the top at a 5/8 and along the bottom, and there it says to do this little triangle thingy here. I don't know how to do that, so I just folded it over. You're supposed to press, but like I said, I don't know with this material if I could do that. So you're gonna put this side down first at 5/8 and then this edge, and you're going to do that to your other pockets. So you could either iron that down, pin them down, or baste them down. Alright, let me take you to the next step. You're going to take your pocket and you are going to take it to pattern piece 2, which is the front, and when you marked your pattern pieces like you're supposed to, so the two small the dots right here will line up with the corners, and then the edge, and it'll look like this. So you're going to match the two dots on your pattern piece. So for the directions, it says pin pocket to front 2, matching circles, and having raw edges even. Edge stitch upper and lower edges as side edges, baste raw edges. So you're going to baste this, which is a long stitch, on here, and then you're going to edge stitch here, and edge stitch here, and here. Oh, sorry, you can't see. You're going to edge stitch here as well. You're going to leave, don't stitch this, because then you won't be able to get your hand in. So you're going to baste stitch the edge stitch this, this, and this. So edge stitching is stitching close to the finished edge or seam. So you're going to try to get close to your stitching right to this edge, but not off the edge, but close to the edge. Alright, so you're going to sew that onto both of your front pieces, and then so now you're going to take sections 2 and 3. Well, actually, this is the, and you're going to sew on the inseam here next to the crotch area. So don't sew that, just sew this right here on the leg part. Alright, so now you're going to sew the outside of your leg, so from here all the way up to where your underarm is. Alright, let me take you to the next step. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take one of our panels, or this, and you're going to pull right sides out, so that's the nice material for the outside, and you're going to keep the other one inside out, and you're going to stuff it into the leg so that the right side's together. You're going to match the seam right here, and you're going to sew from all the way from the back all the way through the crotch and up to this dot right here. You'll have a dot marked on your pattern. I marked it with a pin, and you're going to stop sewing there. That way we could fit our 22-inch zipper. So from the dot through the crotch and all the way up to here, we're going to sew. So from here through here to that dot. Alright, let's do that, and I'll take. So after you sew your 5/8 from the I just showed you what to sew, you're going to re-sew it again at a 1/4. So you're going to have your 5/8 and then your 1/4 seam right here, and then I'll take you to. So what you're going to do is you're going to sew, you pull your right sides out from your leg, and then you're going to put your shoulder seams together and sew those, and then you're going to put stay stitching in the neck, in the back, front, and neck, the front neck and the back part. So that's right here, and then back here, and that's going to be a long stitch like you do for gathering, and you're just going to put stay stitching in there, and then I'll take you to the next. Making the hood on our pattern. So you're going to put right sides together, and you're going to sew from this point all the way to this point. This right here is where your face is, and then this is the neck that we're going to attach to our thing in a little while. Alright, so you're going to sew that at 5/8, and then you're going to iron this to the left if you're using fleece. I don't know if you can or not. And then we're going to top stitch our seam. What that is, I'll show you in a second. Okay, so for our edge stitch, this is our hood inside out. So after you iron it to the left, you're going to sew along this edge right here for the edge stitch. Or if you feel confident enough, you can do it from the right side, so it'll look like this from the outside, a double row. So you're just basically stitching down our seam. Alright, so let me take you to the next. We're making a hem for our hood. So that's this section right here. What you're going to do is you're going to sew a 5/8 line on your thing. Or if you could press, you're just going to press this up 5/8, and then you're going to take the edge of your fabric and you're going to meet the crease where you made your press, and then you're going to fold it over again so that the crease is on this side, and then you're going to sew. We're going to create a narrow hem. Alright, so you're going to pull your onesies right side out, and you are going to match the center of your hood with the center back, and then the triangles and the dots. And then you're going to sew along this at 5/8, and then I will take you. You're going to put the right side of the hood too together with the right side of the onesie. All right, let me take you to the. So you are going to top stitch again. That's where you sew down your seam. So you're going to iron this your hood seam down towards the onesie or the jumpsuit. And then you're going to stitch along the edge to create that stitch. So yeah, let me take it. Now we are going to install our zipper. So from where the dot is where we stopped when we sewed the crotch seam, you're going to base stitch your long stitches all the way from there, all the way to right where your hood ends. And then I'll show you how to install the zipper next. The next step is you're going to open up your zipper, and you're going to place the stopper of your zipper right at the large dot, and then you are going to pin this, and your zipper teeth are going to line up with the center of your seam, which is where where the base stitches are, and then you're just going to pin this. Now we are going to baste this on. So that's going to be our long stitches. You can either do it by hand or you can do it by machine. You're going to get your zipper foot out. The directions say to do it in the center and to keep this underside out of here. So you're probably just going to sew on this edge right here. You're going to baste that zipper on, and then I'll take you to the next step. Now you're going to open your space, and you're going to lay the other zipper down on the edge, and you're going to start at that end, and you're just going to sew through the front of your bodice, through this edge here of the zipper, this edge to the front of this here. Don't sew the back side, so you're just going to have to scrunch and sew, and then you're going to get down here, and you're going to go across and go back up the same way. I had trouble with my zipper being at the top, so when we get to the next step, I'll show you what to do with that piece up. Next, you are going to turn right sides out, and you are going to stitch on the lines, the basting stitch lines that you created from the other side. You're going to start at one end, go all the way to the round, come back up, and then you're going to take your stitches out, your basting stitches that were together that you covered your seam with. So once you take those out, you're gonna pull your zipper down, and then you are going to continue to sew up your zipper so that you can complete it. Alright, so also look at the directions if it's a little confusing. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. step is to take your sleeves and you're going to put all your markings on them. You're going to put right sides together and you're going to sew from the underarm seam down to where your wrist would be. Alright, let me take you to the next. So the next step is to take 2 rows of gathering stitches, so from one triangle all the way to the other triangle over here. So you're going to put 2 rows of long stitches into your sleeve, starting at triangle and then ending at the triangle. Do not back stitch with these because you're going to be pulling these up to fit into your shirt. Next up is you're going to put the right sides together of your sleeve into the right sides of your jumper, and you're going to match the large dot with the seam on top, the single triangle with the single triangle, and then the double triangle with the double triangle. And then you're going to take your gathering and you're just going to gather it slightly up. Oh, and you're also going to match your other underarm seam with the underarm seam of your shirt, the jumper. And then you're going to sew this within the seam allowance. And then you're going to sew this on, you're going to baste it first, then you're going to sew it, and then you're going to sew on the edge at a 1/4. And then you're going to do the same thing to your other sleeve. So let me take you to the next step. Next you're going to take your ribbed stretch fabric, and you are going to put right sides together, and you're going to sew down your side seam here. And the next step is you're going to open up the cuff. This is the cuff for the arms, not the legs. So you're just going to bring it up and match. And you're going to fold over your cuff like this. And then you're going to pin the edge together. And then I'll take you to the next step. Now you're going to take your cuff and you're going to put it onto your sleeve edge. And you're going to stretch this to make it fit. Otherwise it'll be all squished in here, and you're going to sort of stretch it on the sewing machine. You're going to sew this in the seam allowance, which I believe is a 5/8, and then you're going to sew it again at a 1/4 right next to that stitching, and I'll take it to the next. Make the cuff the same way you did for your arm cuff. You're going to fold it and sew it on the right sides together, then you're going to fold it up and meet the edge. And then you're going to stretch and put it on your pant leg like you did your cuff. So make sure you look at your directions that you use for the pattern, and also look at what you did for your cuff as well. Alright. Next up is you're going to cut a piece of paper that is 5 inches this way and 33 inches this way, and you're going to curve the bottom of your tail. And then you're going to place this on your fabric, and you are going to cut 2 of these out. And then I'll take you to the next step is you're going to sew this at 5/8. So you're going to start at this end, go all the way down to the end where it's round, come back up, and end your stitch here. And then you're going to pull right sides out. So we're going to flip this to the right sides. Alright. The thing you're also going to get is one of those giant pipe cleaners. It's a giant chenille pipe cleaner. It's like this one here. What you're going to do is you're going to fold it in half, and then you're going to twist your tail to the end, and then you're going to stuff it into your cattail, and then I'll take you to your pipe cleaner stuffed in. You're going to fold over the ends, and you're just going to sew across the top, and then I'll take you to the next step. So next you're going to try your outfit on, and then you're going to pin your tail where you think it should go. Either you could have your friend do this, or if you have a mirror you can sort of figure out how to place it. So you're going to pin it down, and then you're just going to sew across here. Next we're going to make the frog eye. So to make our paper, you're just going to find random round things in your house to try to get this. So let's see, the height of this is about 3.5 inches by 4.5 inches. So you're gonna make like a somewhat of a half circly egg shaped thing. So you could either lay your hands out like this, and then try to make it round. I just found a random round thing and tried to shape this. So originally what I had is this size, but that's too small. So then I added a couple inches around it. So just find any round thing in your house and try to make this shape right here. Next up, for the eyeball part, I took apart a styrofoam plate and used the bottom. So this circle is about 3 inches by 3 inches. And then from that, you're going to make a smaller circle for the hole for our eye. So this is about 2.5. So you're going to make a 2.5 and a 3 inch circle here. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your felt and you're going to cut 2 of these out. So 2 in the black felt, and then 2 in your up the other part of the eye. You're gonna have a total of 4 of the pink pieces. So four of these and 2 of these. All right, let me place your circle onto one of your pink eye parts. And you're going to have 1 inch on each side and a little bit down here and a little bit up here. You're going to take a marker and trace around this. So now, after you trace it out, mine's very faint. You can see that it's a circle. So what you're going to do is you're going to fold this slightly and make a cut. Let me show you how to do that. So you're just going to pinch it like that. Oops, I didn't quite make a mark. Hold on. And then you're just going to cut out on the line that you just traced around with that circle. And then I'll show you what's next. Now that you have your circle cut out of one of your eyes, you're going to take the right sides of your black felt and you're going to line up the edge. Let me see how we get this. Hold on 1 sec. I'll start it in a second. So you're going to take your circle and you're going to put the right sides together with your felt and you're just going to start pinning. If you find that the hole is bigger, you're just going to push down some of the bumps and it should fit. So I'm going to quickly continue to pin this. So you're just going to match the edge with the edge. To have something that looks like this, see, like I said with the bumps, you're just going to have to squish them down so that you could fit the edges in with the circle of the iris or whatever you want to call this eye. And then you could either hand sew this or you could take it to the machine and make a really fine seam along the edge, which I'm going to do. So just take this to your machine or hand sew it. So this is how you're going to sew it. You're just going to make a really fine seam. If you take your pins out as you go, you're going to want to hold down the bumps and you're going to rotate the circle a little bit so that you can get on the edge. So you can see now that it has a really small hem, so that you sewed on the edge. Now you're just going to open up the sewed part. And now what you're going to do is you're going to take this and you're going to take the right sides of your other piece and you're going to put them together and you're going to pin, and then I'll take you to the next step. This is also going to get a small hem. You can either do this by hand again or you can sew it by the machine. So it's just going to be as small as, just as small as your other hem that you made for your eye. So you're just going to continue to sew and take this as slow as you want, and then let you sew in your small hem. Now you're going to pull right sides out like so, and you're going to get some stuffing, and you're going to stuff your eyeball here. Stick the stuffing into your eyeball, and this is where it's going to get a little tricky. So you're going to want to position your eye onto your hood. So that's about 3 inches up and 1.5 inches going this way to your seam. So 1.5 this way and 3 inches up. You want the end of the eyeball to be at the 1.5 inch. So if you, we're gonna have to hand sew this. So what you're gonna have to do is you're going to have to get a foam head or some sort of thing that you can stuff to keep the shape. And then you're just going to take a needle and thread, and you're just going to, you can either pin the hood to the foam head to sew, and then you're just going to go in and out. You're going to grab a layer of the hat and a layer of the eye, and you're just going to keep going around and around for hand sewing. There are good videos out there for how to sew like things on like ears, so if you get stuck you can look that up, but just go in and out with your needle and then sew on your eye, and repeat the steps for your second eye to sew it on and sew it together. And now I'll take you to the next. You have both eyes on, it should look something like this. I'm going to sew the white part on next for the eye. Alright, let me take you to the next step. You're going to make the sparkle of the eye of the eye part. So what I did is I took a acrylic paint round circle thing. Let's see. This is about 1 inch, so it's about that size. So if you can get a circle that big, so you're going to take this and you're going to trace this out onto a piece of material, whether it be white felt or white fabric. You're just going to trace it out like a circle, and you're going to cut that circle out, and then you are going to place them on your eyes, and then you're just going to hand sew these just like you did with your eye part. You're just going to take a little bit of the felt and a little bit of the white, and you're just going to keep going around and around and around and do that to both of your eyes. Okay, let me take. But now what you're going to do is you're going to take a ruler or a tape measure, and you're going to measure from the neck down to where the crotch of your onesie is, and mine was 23 inches, and then you're going to measure across from here to there, which for me was 21. So you're going to cut a piece of paper out in that size, and then what you're going to do next, we're going to figure out where the size of your neck. So you're going to take the measure from your shoulder all the way up to where your hoodie is, and mine was about 7 inches. And so you're going to mark that on your paper, 7 inches from the. Try to show this on a smaller scale. So say this is your 23 by 21 inch. So what I was trying to say is you're going to take your tape measure or ruler, and you're going to come in 7 inches. This is a smaller scale, so it's not going to be the same. So you're going to come in 7 inches on your larger piece of paper, and you're going to mark 7 inches in that way. Hold on, sorry for my 1 second. So you're gonna mark your neck, so it'll look something like this. I don't know if you can see it. And then you're just gonna roughly, like, you could take like your plate and make this edge smaller. So you're just gonna basically look at a photo of a frosch and determine like the size. So you're just gonna roughly draw out like a tongue looking shape, and then you're just gonna curve the neck so you have something that looks like this. I don't know if you can see it too well. Here, so it'll look something like this. And then you're gonna cut this out. Sorry for that. So the shape will look something like this in your large scale. So let me show you what the larger pattern looks like for the white belly part of our frosch. This is the pattern here that I made large. So you'll see that it's big enough for your piece. Alright, so you're going to cut that out of your paper, and then we're going to cut this out of our fabric. Cut your little belly part out. What you're going to do is you're going to place it on to your outfit, and you're going to pin here all the way to the center over there. So you're going to sew on the machine from here all the way to this pin. You're going to take up, and then you're going to stop there, and then you're going to sew from that pin to the center pin, and then you're going to hand stitch the part of the belly onto your pocket. So you're going to hand stitch from here to here. So that's from here along here to this pin here, so that you can still have access to your pocket. If you didn't install pockets originally when you made this, then you can sew all the way around. So yeah, you're going to unzip it and then sew machine from here to here, and then from here to here, and then you're going to hand stitch from here to over here to this pin. Alright, let me take you to the... Or if you didn't like doing the whole piece, you could, like if you want to do just, like say if you didn't want to do the whole circle, you could technically cut this in half for where your zipper would be. But if you're doing a full circle, so the way that I told you, so the next step is to take out some velcro, and you're going to place them on to your thing. So you're gonna sew 2 pieces of velcro, just eyeball out where you think the velcro should be. So this is what my velcro looks like. I have one down there towards the end of the pocket, one near the pocket, a little bit above, and then there's one up here by the collar. So you're going to sew on the soft side onto your belly part, and the rough side onto your onesie. This is so you can get access to your zipper. Alright, let me take you to the next step. So the next step is to cut out a whole bunch of black dots, being in different sizes, ranging from big to small. So what I did was I looked at my reference photo and tried to eyeball the different shapes for the frog spots. So just figure out how many. Let's see how many spots I have. I'm just gonna roughly cut out 44 of these little dots. So you're gonna put 4 across the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next row. 1, 2, 3, 4 for the next row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the next row, and then 1, 2, 3 for the shoulder, and then you're going to put 1, 2, 3. Kind of have to make this like a circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to show you the hood. So I put 3 dots up here towards the eye, and then so this is the hood piece here, so that it goes like in a circle. So it starts up with a 3 in the front, of there, and then it goes down along the bottom and around over here, and then you put some in the center. Alright, so you're just going to roughly cut those out. You can either glue these to your onesie, or you can hand sew them like we did with our eyes. So the in and out, the slip stitching. So you're going to sew them like you did with the eyes, with that kind of stitch, with the iris. So that should be it, and how to make our frosch from Fairy Tale cosplay. And then just get a green wig, and I'll put a picture at the end of this of how the pattern, what it looks like on the back, and so you can figure out how to place it. So you're just going to hand sew it like you would with our iris.